The day my husband changed the locks, he smiled, handed me one suitcase, and said, "You'll never survive without me." 3 years later, he stood outside my penthouse, begging me to open the door, and for the first time, I smiled. 10 seconds before we continue. If you love emotional revenge stories, shocking twists, and unforgettable endings, subscribe to Bloodline Revenge Stories, like this video, and share it with someone who believes karma always arrives on time. My name is Olivia Carter. For 15 years, I believed my marriage was built on love. I was wrong. It was built on sacrifice. Mine. While Daniel built his construction company, I managed everything else. I worked nights, handled the bills, raised our son, balanced the books for his business. When cash was tight, I sold my jewelry. When employees needed paying, I emptied my savings. Every success he celebrated had my fingerprints on it. But no one knew, because I never asked for credit. Then, everything changed. Daniel hired a new executive assistant, Vanessa, young, stylish, always laughing at his jokes. Within months, he stopped coming home for dinner, stopped answering my calls, stopped looking me in the eyes. One rainy evening, he came home carrying divorce papers. "I've met someone else. I deserve to be happy." Those words hurt. But what came next destroyed me. "The house is in my name. You need to leave." The next morning, the locks were changed. I stood outside, holding one suitcase, watching 15 years disappear behind a closed door. Even worse, Daniel had convinced most of our friends that I had abandoned him. No one called. No one asked what really happened. I rented a tiny apartment, worked 2 jobs, and quietly started over. One night, while cleaning old boxes, I found the notebooks I'd kept for Daniel's company. Every invoice, every contract, every supplier, every financial projection. I realized something. I hadn't just helped build his company. I understood it better than anyone. So I started my own. A tiny consulting business. 1 client became 3. 3 became 10. 10 became 50. Within 3 years, my company advised some of the largest construction firms in the state. Investors believed in me. Banks trusted me. The woman who had once been thrown out with one suitcase now owned a luxury penthouse overlooking the city. One autumn evening, my assistant called. "There's a man asking to see you." I looked at the security camera. Daniel. His expensive suits were gone. His confidence, gone. Beside him stood Vanessa. No designer handbag. No luxury jewelry. Just worried faces. I opened the door. Daniel looked at me. "Olivia, I need your help." I stayed silent. He explained everything. Vanessa had convinced him to expand too quickly. Bad investments. Massive debt. Lawsuits. The company was bankrupt. The mansion had been repossessed. Even his sports car was gone. He looked around my beautiful penthouse. "You've done well." I simply replied. "I survived." He lowered his head. "I was wrong. I should have never left." Vanessa quietly stepped forward. "I owe you an apology too. I thought I was winning. I didn't realize I was helping destroy someone's family." For a moment, the room was silent. Then Daniel whispered, "Can you loan me enough money to save the company?" I walked toward the floor-to-ceiling window, looked out across the city, the same city, where I once cried alone, wondering how I'd survive. Then I turned back. "I won't invest in your company." His face fell. "But I'll offer you something far more valuable." He looked confused. "A job?" He blinked. "A job? My company needs experienced project managers. The salary is fair. But you'll earn it." Daniel stared at me. The woman he once claimed couldn't survive without him was now offering him employment. Tears filled his eyes. I understand. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I smiled gently. This isn't revenge. Revenge would have been closing the door. This is moving forward. Daniel accepted the position. Not because it was easy. Because it was his only chance to rebuild his life honestly. Over the next year, he worked harder than anyone else. Not to impress me, but to become someone he could respect again. Vanessa volunteered at a local shelter helping women rebuild after divorce. She once told me, "I spent years chasing luxury. I never realized character was worth more." One afternoon, my son looked at me and smiled. "Mom, you won." I shook my head. "No, I healed. That's much more valuable." People think revenge is watching someone suffer. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is building a life so full of peace that the people who hurt you can only stand at the door, wondering how they ever let you go.